It's Christmas.
Because it was
It's Christmas. Christmas. Is that how Camila Cabello says it?
this Christmas.
Christmas.
Because I have no idea. I've never heard that ever. Oh, how awful.
Well, for any of our listeners who don't know what I'm talking about, I'll explain it for your benefit. You're welcome.
Everyone say thank you.
There's a video of, I'm pretty sure it is Camila Cabello, and she's singing I'll Be Home for Christmas, except she actually sings I'll be home for Quizmoys. And there's like 17 letters in there that aren't in the actual word of Christmas, but she somehow pronounces them. It's incredible. So every year it makes the rounds, people debate. Is she saying quiz mice? Is she saying
I'll be home for quiz mice. Is that what?
quiz
It's like
mice? You know,
it's
like
a
the
new
mice that
TV
tell you
show?
riddles and stuff? Quiz mice.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's pretty incredible.
That's kind of like how I pronounce words.
Yeah, just kind of however, really.
I do. I tend to follow the old English pronunciation of things, which is there's
Oh,
no like back in the day there was no set spelling of things, but in there is set spelling this time. It's just there's no set pronunciation.
right. And that's fine. It's called artistic expression. Ever heard of it?
No, I'm sketching out. Wait, you had a story that you were going to tell me,
Yes,
right?
about
Not
the
an
post
Austin story?
office.
Yay!
Yay! So, so I go into the post office because I'm gonna send some packages. And
I
um,
love package.
you know how there's like boxes that you can use to put your stuff in there, but then it's like insured for $100 or whatever.
Yes.
So I didn't want to use those because I didn't want to pay $100 for not to spoil anybody's Christmas presents, a couple pairs of socks, and a letter that I wrote in 4 minutes. It's like a cute present to get, but it's not something that I want to insure for $100.
Probably not. Probably not.
No,
Is
no.
that going to someone else on this podcast?
It might be, and it might even be going to perhaps a special guest that's been on the podcast. And they might match. Who's to say? I don't know. No. So it's like I want to send the packages, but I don't want to spend $100. So I go up to the lady at the desk and I'm like, "Are these the boxes that I can use?" And she's like, "So those are the ones that are insured for $100." And I'm like, "So no, then that would be the answer to my question is no.
Yeah.
What boxes can I use?" And she's like, "Oh, if you just look over to those ones on the left, you can use anything in that section and that'll be cheaper." Now, the boxes on the left, by the way, are almost exactly identical to the ones that you can't use because they will cost you
Because
$100.
there's yeah, of course not. Why would they
You
make
can
them look
see
different?
why I had a question, right? You can see why I wasn't sure I had to ask like a little baby. So I go over to that section and they had a different like sizes of boxes so I could find something that fit better. I found a
Hmm.
padded envelope that fit
Puffy.
perfectly. And I'm like, I don't even need a box. I can use a padded envelope. That'll be so much nicer. But she
Awesome.
gave me those like delivery like stickers that you put on your package that says to and from, but it also says tracked and insured. So then I was like, why would I have the sticker if it's the same sticker that was on the box that I'm not supposed to use? That was confusing. Anyway, so I
Yeah.
ended up using the envelopes, and then I'm like, I probably don't need the sticker because I can just write on the envelope. But I also don't want to get back up to the desk and she says, "Oh, you're supposed to use the sticker," and then I have to leave the line again. So I'm like, I'll just fill it out while I'm
Right.
here, and that way, in case I need to use it, I have it, and if I don't need to use it, I can just throw it away.
Right.
That's my plan. So I go back up, and I give the lady is busy, so I go to the guy next to her. There are three attendants at my post office, by the way. I talked to all of them during this event. So I go up to the guy on the end, and I'm like, I have these envelopes and I have these stickers. And he's like, hey, you can't use the stickers. You got to write on the envelope. And I'm like, okay, that's what I thought, but I don't have a Sharpie. I only have a pen that won't show up on the padded
That won't.
envelope.
Right. You need a Sharpie.
So he's like, you can use this Sharpie. Oh, and also the first time she had given me scissors and I didn't know why. Because you don't need scissors to put a present into a package.
General, no, generally not. You don't need to
So I
cut
didn't really.
open
She's like, "Do you
you,
need
you
scissors?" And I was like, and she's like, "Here you go." Like as if she was doing me a favor, but I like couldn't understand why I would need the scissors. Anyway, so we went up to the desk and I was like, "I have the stickers." He's like, "You can't use the stickers. Here's a Sharpie." And I was like, "Thanks." And here's your scissors back. And he was like, "Thanks." I was like, "Okay, cool." So then I went back to the little stand where you can set up the packages. I'm writing names on. At this point, I'm like, I hope I'm putting the right names on the right packages. If you
you've been
get a
through so much
package
already.
that has a gift and a letter that says Allison on it, that's sorry, not yours. And she got yours. But I'm pretty sure they're right. I'm like 99%, you know? Because they were like slightly different thicknesses. Anyway. So I'm writing that I had to write my address and Allison's address and my address and your address on the envelopes. And then I take them
Right?
back up. It's like, and then the counter, the first two people that I talked to weren't open, so I had to go to the third guy. And then he's like, "Hi, how are you?" And I was like, "Good." It had been at this point
But
probably
like 45
25
minutes?
minutes because it's right before Christmas. It's busy, I'm
Uh-huh.
trying to like hurry, but then I don't want to like do anything wrong like a little baby. So like I can't really hurry. I was supposed to meet Jack at 3:30. I was
Uh-huh.
like, "I'll have plenty of time." At this point, it's 3:40. I'm like, "Hey man, I'm really held up right now." I go up to the guy and I had to pay for the envelopes and the shipping, but I didn't have to pay $100 for insurance because you can't insure a padded envelope. That would
Yay!
be crazy. So I'm like, okay. And he's like, "Do you want to pay for expedited shipping so that it can get there before Christmas? Or is it okay if it gets there after?" And I said, "I literally do not care at all. What is the cheapest option?" They gave me the cheapest option. It's like $6 shipping or something to get to DC. And
Yay!
and I'm like, "I have $6. I'll happily pay $6 for this." And he's like, "It'll probably get there around like Monday, Tuesday." And I was like, "So still before Christmas then? So why would you say
Shut.
that?" If you pay for extra shipping, this was on what, Friday? Then it's like it can get there by Saturday or Sunday. But if you don't, it can get there by Monday or
Monday
Tuesday.
or
I was like, so
Tuesday?
that's like the same thing then. It's still by Christmas.
It's
And
just
it's
you
also
pay
okay
extra
if
for
it's late.
no, if
Like
anything, it's almost more fun because it's like extra present.
it's like
What do
a
you do
bonus
on
present.
Christmas? You're like, oh,
Exactly.
only these presents. I guess I'll wait till next year.
Exactly.
And then
And
3
it's
days
like
after
a
Christmas, it's
bonus
like,
present. It's like the 29th. People don't expect to get a present on the 29th. It's special.
exactly.
So I was
It's
like, I don't care
so
at all,
fun.
but cool. I guess if it comes on Christmas Eve, then yay. Like, why make
Maybe
people
I just
pay
won't
for
open it until the 29th anyway.
why make people pay for faster shipping if either way it's gonna get there on or before Christmas? Anyway,
There's
so I had that whole thing, this rigmarole. By the end of it, it had been like 40 minutes. Jack is like, "I just have to be back in town at 5, so like maybe we should reschedule." I'm like, "Okay, I'm so sorry." And he's like, "It's fine." And I'm like, "I'm so sorry." And he's like, "It's fine." And also, at some point during this whole endeavor, I broke a nail badly.
all the way down.
Not like all the way down, but close to the way down, like where it's not
Oh,
white anymore and it's clear. It's like
yeah.
right on that line.
Oh,
So I don't know if you can tell how this thumb is much shorter than this thumb,
I
because I had to
can,
shave it
yeah.
down because it was like jagged and broken and it kept getting
Yeah.
caught on stuff. And I was like, I don't even know when that happened.
That
In
happened
all the
to,
boxes that I picked up and measured and then put down, how?
yeah, it's not like you're doing really vigorous manual labor,
No.
but sometimes I truly feel like sometimes nails just break at the most inconvenient of times. Because
Yeah.
I broke 3 nails this week. This is 4. I broke 4 nails this week,
Ooh.
all deep
Uh-huh.
down, and they're only
Ooh.
just getting to the point where they don't hurt anymore. So
That's the
almost half of
worst.
my fingernails just gave
Yeah,
out on me for no reason. They're not even like that freakishly long, the other ones. That's like a normal
right.
nail length, right? It's not like
Yeah,
like, why? Why do you do this? But of course, it happened when we were out. I don't have any nail clippers or nail files, and we're like
right.
shopping. So I'm touching things and they are catching on
Oh,
everything. And also,
yeah.
it
And they're like
hurts.
in the nail bed, so it already hurts. Oh, that's the worst thing that can ever happen to anyone.
Yeah, it's so true.
Famously, what had
Hmm.
happened is that I have like gel polish, but it had chipped just on that part. So I do think maybe it just was too exposed. It was like, I can't do it. If I don't get to have pink sparklies,
Oh,
I'm leaving. And I'm like,
yeah.
ah, why?
Rip.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
that's my
horrible. I'm
post
so
office
sorry.
story. Yay!
You're so brave. You're
Thank
so
you.
brave and powerful.
I
Thank you for
know.
doing that for
Thank
me and for
you.
Allison.
You're welcome.
Hmm. We'll owe you forever.
Not really. It's Christmas.
I have not sent your package out yet, but it
That's
will
okay.
get there maybe probably not before Christmas at this point
Probably not
because
before Christmas.
if you had to go through
Unless
that on
you
Friday,
pay for
then
the expedited shipping and like you're
yeah,
like,
and all due
I need
respect,
it
I won't.
I need it there now. I need it there yesterday. Be like really like a girl boss in a rom-com. You could be that person.
I have girl boss outfits I
But
could wear. I actually wore one today. I'm not wearing I had like a suit vest on over this
oh,
maroon
that's cool.
turtleneck.
That's
Yeah, I
classy.
looked
But the
good.
turtleneck by itself also classy.
Thank you.
I'll say
Thank
it.
you. And I won't
But
apologize
you
for
also
it.
don't have to do that because I'm okay with bonus presents, and also we're doing Christmas on January 11th so that Neil
Because
can be
of
there.
your brother
So
getting
you
home.
can pretty much send it anytime between Christmas and January 11th, and it'll still be on time.
Yay! So you guys
Yay!
rearranged your whole family Christmas to be on Whitney Standard Time. That's so nice of you.
No. Yeah, we were just
Aw.
thinking we just need to give a little more to the community this year. The LGBT community, obviously.
Oh, I have
That's
a
funny.
story for you. It's not even
Okay.
really it's pretty much a non-story, but my family and
Oh,
I were at
yes.
the temple this week and we were sitting in a row behind a girl and I could not for the life of me focus on anything but this girl for the entire time. It was my blood pressure was skyrocketing. It was awful. So I sketched it out for you. So this was kind of my
Okay.
view of her from here. So her hair was about
Okay.
shoulder length and she
Hmm.
had a hair tie in just two very loose loops around the last inch of her hair.
Right.
Maybe not even a full inch. It was
So it's
like
like
the just the
it's shaped like
ends.
this,
Yes.
where it hangs down and then it's tied instead of being tied up here and then hanging
And
down.
then hanging down. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And it would like it's not even like it's just a low pony for the sake of a low pony. It was like the hair tie itself was barely there.
Right.
Like you can have a
Maybe it
loose
was her first time ever using a hair tie and she didn't know you're supposed to wrap it.
maybe it's a possibility. Because
We don't know,
yeah, I'm not one to judge, famously.
obviously.
Right. But I got out of the session and I turned to my mom. I was like, that girl, and she's like, the hair tie. And I was like, yeah. So apparently both of us had a very hard time paying attention to anything else because we were both like side-eyeing, like stressed out that this girl's hair was gonna fall out. And, like it's not even like it's a calamitous thing. It's not like what are the consequences
Right.
of her hair falling out? Her hair tie falls out and it's not in there anymore,
Right.
which means it's barely even there anyway,
Which
so
would
it's not that big of a
barely do
deal.
anything. Yeah, I don't think she would
Exactly.
notice because her hair's
Exactly.
already down.
Yeah, yeah.
But still,
But
it's like, yeah.
it was so uncomfortable. It was so bad, dude. I was having a hard time.
I've always thought Marshall would be a nice name, like spell it like martial law, but it's just the name
Funny.
Marshall. Funny.
Uh-huh. I
Hmm.
have I knew a guy named Marshall in high school. He was awesome. Most
But it was
talented
spelled
actor
with
in
an
that group.
SH.
It was spelled with an
Oh,
SH,
was he
yeah,
the
not
one who
spelled.
had a speech impediment, but not when he was acting?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was awesome.
crazy.
Also one of the
That's
funniest guys
the
I've ever
power
known.
of theater.
That's acting.
That's so cool.
He was legit awesome. He had a crazy singing voice too. Like what play was it? Why can't I think of the name? My Fair Lady.
Uh-huh.
He was the professor, and like everyone did a good job. Like I remember it being
Right.
really good for high school theater, but everyone afterwards, you hear him talking, you're like, I mean, the professor's not even like the main character, but like he stole the show, didn't he? I was like, yeah, that's my friend, baby. That's him. That's
Yeah.
Marshall.
You're like, I know him. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's rad.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Home Alone 2, Lost in New York?
Okay. Yay.
Yay! Okay, so actually, funny enough, I saw that Gabby Bell had released a video ranking the Home Alone movies this week, which was perfect
I saw
timing
that. I didn't watch the
because
video, but I saw that she had made it. And I was
she
like,
made the
wow.
video and I watched the video and it was very good. And I was a little hesitant because I remember she watched the High School Musical movies to do a video
Uh-huh.
on them a couple weeks ago, and she broke my heart with her rating. She ranked High School Musical 2 as number one, which I think is a totally valid reason. But then she ranked High School
Sure.
Musical 1 and then High School Musical 3, the one that nobody
Okay.
remembers. That's what she said. And I was like,
Okay, but that's
Gabby
senior year.
Bell, that's High School Musical senior year. Thank you. I'm like, hello? High School Musical 1 did nothing but introduce us to this premise that then
Right.
allowed High School Musicals 2 and 3 to be created. Like High School
Right.
Musical 1
Right.
is it's good, but like it's
Yeah.
nothing spectacular. High School Musical 2, I totally accept that that's people's favorite. I
Uh-huh.
respect that. It has some of the
Yeah.
best songs. I know that my personal favorite is High School Musical 3 senior year,
Hmm.
uh, mostly because I saw it in theaters at a friend's birthday party and I remember watching it and
Oh.
being like sitting in my seat and vibrating because I was so excited. And then
You're
yeah,
like,
it didn't disappoint. And so
yeah.
she burned me a little bit with that. I
Uh-huh.
was like, Miss Gabby Bell, open your heart. This isn't you.
Yeah.
The one that
Yeah.
nobody remembers. Like, don't play games with me. Come on.
It's
Um,
literally High School Musical senior year. So,
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. The boys are back. Are you kidding me? You're gonna look me
Uh-huh.
in the eye and you're gonna tell me that nobody remembers the boys are back. No. Get out of here with
Yeah.
that. But I watched her Home Alone video and it was fantastic because she gave the appropriate ratings that I agree with on all of them. She's like, Home Alone 2 is
Okay.
better than Home Alone 1. Home Alone 3 is pretty entertaining. Home Alone 4, very bad. Home Alone 5, not that bad. And then there's the sixth one,
Uh-huh.
which
And
apparently they made.
when you think about it, why?
That's a great
Six?
question.
Doesn't that seem like a little bit excessive? Doesn't it seem like somebody could have called CPS much earlier?
You would think.
Six?
You would think. The
You
funny thing
think?
is they seem to jump back and forth between are we in the same universe or are we not? Who knows?
Right.
And that's just silly. If you're gonna make a Home
Yeah.
Alone style movie, just make it, but don't compare it to the
Right.
original
Just have
Macaulay
it be like
Culkin.
it's paying homage to Home Alone. It doesn't have to be like part
Exactly.
of the franchise because they only
Yeah.
made six movies.
No.
Like
They
two
don't.
was fine.
Yeah,
Honestly, three is like, okay,
a little much. Because you can
a
only do
little
so much
much.
with the same premise.
Right. And with the
Hmm.
same like family, it's like, yeah, they should be in prison.
Yes. Yeah.
His
And
parents
that's
are
why
like, you can't even feel that bad for him because it's like,
two.
that's your literal child. Are you kidding me? Twice?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just a little boy.
He is literally just a little boy, and it's literally his birthday. Yeah, it's very funny.
Crazy.
Very, very funny. Yeah, in my heart, the Home Alone 1 and 2 are the only movies in the franchise to me. They're the only ones to bother
Yeah,
with. I remember watching the third one as a kid and like enjoying it, but I have no
right,
desire to go back and watch it as an adult. Like
right.
I've got
Because it's not like when people talk about Home Alone being a classic movie, they're talking about one and or two. I don't feel like anyone's ever including three and four and five and
no,
for some reason six.
I literally didn't even know about 4 and 5. I had heard about 6 because I've seen a couple. I think Danny Gonzalez did a video about it
Uh-huh.
with the spoiled rich kid beating up a struggling middle class family. And somehow we're supposed to be like, yeah. Yeah.
Yay! I love rich people. Yeah.
Although I did learn that Aisling B is in that movie. She's the mom. Yeah.
What?
Yep. She's the mom who
Okay,
leaves her kid behind.
go Aisling. Way to represent.
Yeah, let's go, girl. Let's go,
Way to be the
queen.
Irish, the new Catherine O'Hara. I was gonna say the Irish Catherine O'Hara, but literally her name is Catherine. So, a slightly
Yeah.
more Irish Catherine O'Hara named Ashley.
Aisling B. Yeah.
That's
Um,
crazy.
wild, right? So Home Alone 2, I think we are ready for the discussion that in my completely objective and correct opinion, it is better than the first one. And
And
people
the
can have
third,
thoughts
I'd
about
say.
this. And then and the
The
third,
fourth,
sure.
maybe the fifth.
Potentially even the sixth. Who knows? Let's just throw it
Whoa,
out there, see
crazy.
what sticks. Yeah,
Home Alone
yeah.
2 is cool because it has an Irish woman in it, and
It
she
does.
has pigeons,
Yes, she
and she
does.
comes to the rescue. So
She does a
think
couple
about
of
that.
times.
Hmm.
Yeah. It I feel like the whole second movie, and Gabby Bell said this in her video, and I know that I just like don't think that I'm copying her saying this. I've literally always said this, is that
Hmm.
Home Alone 2 takes everything that the first Home Alone did well and multiplies it. Like it
Right,
does everything more and better. Like he's not just
right.
home alone, he's lost in New York.
He's
That's the
lost in New
name of the
York.
movie. He's literally
Yeah.
lost in New York. He's not home, but he is alone and with infinite money. And that is
Yeah.
incredible.
He
That is
discovered
awesome.
infinite money glitch in 1992. That's impressive.
Yeah, which is just steal your dad's credit card.
And also, like, can I just say something really quick about the ending of the movie where all the family is reunited, they're celebrating, yay, we found Kevin again. It's a
Yeah.
Christmas tradition. And then they get the like bill for the room service
Yeah.
and it's like $900 and for some reason Kevin gets in trouble for this. You
Hmm.
abandoned your child.
Yeah.
You were thousands of miles away, and by the way, you have the money. You
Yeah.
paid for a trip to Miami for 14 people over Christmas, and you live in
Hmm.
like the most gargantuan house in Illinois, and you're gonna get mad at your son for paying less than $1,000 to keep himself alive at the hotel in New York because you abandoned him and went to Miami without him? I
Hmm.
don't think he should
Yeah.
have been in trouble for that. I think he should have paid more money.
Kevin did nothing wrong.
Kevin
Name it
literally did nothing wrong,
name of the video.
except for he did definitely kill those guys.
See, and that touches on the other. Oh, real quick. I did look that up because I had this exact same thought. I watched it with my parents last night. And they
Mhm.
were like, "You don't want to watch the original?" I was like, "No, because this one is the better movie." And we watched it and they agreed. And we got to the end. I was like, $900 seems like chump change to these people for the exact same
Yeah,
reasons. You just flew 14 people to Miami and then to New York on a dime on Christmas,
yeah.
and yet $900. We looked it up in modern day dollars. That's something like $2,500. So, you know, more, but
More, but
still, your
still,
point still stands.
if you were to book a flight right now, today, from Chicago to Miami, and then from Miami to New York, and it is Christmas,
Yes,
and you are paying for 14 people round trip, it seems like you might have a couple $1,000s to spend
you
to keep your
potentially
child
might.
alive while he's in New
Yeah.
York by himself and he's only 10,
Hmm.
you know? I
Yeah. And if
think
you
it's
think
like,
about it,
why
it's pretty
complain about him
impressive.
wasting his money? You wasted your money going on the damn vacation.
Yeah, that nobody really wanted to go on.
Hmm.
Florida in Christmas is not as nice as you think it's going to be. It's not.
No.
As the movie
And I
showed,
think
it's
they depict
rainy.
that in the movie. They're like, hey, it's
They
raining the
did.
whole time and everybody's miserable and they can't go
And
outside and they
cold.
don't speak Spanish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've done it, baby. The
Hmm.
perfect place to spend Christmas is well, certainly not New York, because heaven
No.
forbid. It's just with family.
Yay.
Yay! And with new friends. Pigeon Lady. I look,
Yay.
I love her. I love her
Hmm.
so much.
Yeah,
This
she rocks.
she
I think
rocks
she's one of the best characters of any movie.
ever. I would agree so hard.
Hmm.
I like, and this movie has a lot of really fun side characters, a lot of really fun ones with no lines, like the lady that Marv runs into twice. First of all, this is a city with like 10 billion people in it, and they keep running into the same people again and again. I love that.
Yeah,
I have no
that's
complaints
funny.
about that. Cinema Sins, if you're pissed about that,
It's
like,
funny, okay?
it's
Live a little, it's
funny.
Christmas.
It's funny that he runs into Lady and is like, hello. And she's like, poof. And then later, she thinks he grabbed her ass. And so she goes, boom, fully knocks out two grown men on their asses.
Hmm.
She doesn't speak a
And good for her.
word. She's the coolest person who's ever lived. Like,
Hmm.
I love her so much. I love the guy in the taxi when Kevin is like, it's scary out there because he's walking around in New York City at night.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's scary.
Alone, and he's
And then
10. Yeah.
yes. And the taxi driver turns around and goes, it ain't much better in here, kid. And he just kind of looks kind of scary. But also, you can see when Kevin scrambles out of the taxi that he just starts laughing. He's like, and I think that's great. I think that's awesome. Imagine knowing that you look kind of ugly and being like, it ain't much better in here, kid. That is
Yeah.
hysterical.
It's
That's
so
so funny.
funny.
He knows who he is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but this
very
movie, it
good.
has good characters. Pigeon Lady, who might have a
Pigeon Lady
name.
is no, her name is Pigeon Lady.
Yeah,
And
she was
that good
born
for
Pigeon
her.
Lady, and she didn't understand it until, her true
Her
love left
calling.
her, and she became obsessed with pigeons, and then she was like, "Oh, I see it now."
Yeah.
Um, Mr.
She's
Duncan?
Mr. Duncan. I
Yeah.
love him. I love him so much. He's the nicest person and so humble. He's like, I'm his number one priority after his store gets broken into, and the cops are like, okay, we found the money. What's his thought? His like, oh well, maybe I can't donate this year. I need to make sure I repair that giant one pane window that got smashed.
Huge window.
No, his first thought is I mean, I'm not taking any more chances. Get this money over to the children's hospital ASAP.
Hmm.
Because all the money that he makes on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day goes right to the children's hospital. All of it. No
Hmm.
questions. Where is Mr. Duncan today? I love him
Please,
so much.
we
Please
need you.
come back to us, Mr. Duncan.
Please.
I love him so much. And I mean, we to say nothing of Tim Curry and
Hmm.
Cedric and then the hotel lady
Yeah.
who is also in my one of my favorite rom-coms, Sabrina. All those three
Oh yeah, she
mean
is.
she is. Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim Curry, I think he delivers every line perfectly because he's Tim Curry. But I
Because he's Tim
especially
Curry.
love it's after he goes into the hotel room and sees the dad in the shower. And so then the
Uh-huh.
next morning he's being like
Wait, wait,
especially nice
wait,
to Kevin.
wait.
And he
Can
goes,
I can I
he
guess
runs
can
up
I
like
guess the
this.
line?
Okay,
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna write it out. Okay. Now say it.
okay.
You
Well,
yeah.
oh
You
here, I'll set up the
yeah.
scene
Yeah,
and
you do
you
it.
can say the line like Tim Curry.
Okay, okay, okay.
So it's the next morning. Kevin goes down into the lobby. He's like walking. Tim Curry is talking to another person at the counter and is like, "Hold on a second." And then he prances over. He's like,
He literally does that.
he literally does. He waves his little hands until he gets up to Kevin and he like leans down just a little bit, but not so much to be like condescending.
Yeah.
He kind of like leans down and he goes, "Mr. McAllister."
And Kevin goes, "Is my transportation here?" And Tim Curry goes, "Yes, a stretch limousine, compliments of the Plaza Hotel, and a pizza." And he says it just
Pizza.
like that.
He
Pizza,
says it just like that. Pizza.
pizza.
Yeah, that's my
Is that
favorite
the
part.
line?
Yeah.
I knew it.
The prance and then the way that he says and the pizza.
Pizza,
Why
pizza.
does he like that? It's
What?
so
It's like
funny.
he's gotta like choke it out of his mouth. He's like pizza.
Yeah, it's like he's never said
Compliments
the
of the
word
Plaza
pizza.
Hotel.
Compliments
My
of the Plaza Hotel.
hotel. And my favorite part of the scene is after Kevin leaves, Tim Curry goes, "Have a lovely day." And then his face drops just like that. But he says it like that. "Have a lovely day." I
They
love him.
could
Tim
not have
Curry.
cast a more perfect person.
No, they couldn't. And I
Tim
actually
Curry. is the right person for this role.
Yes, I read that they had originally written the part for Jack Nicholson. And Jack Nicholson, all due respect, I think he's a great actor. That's exactly the same
That
thought
would
I
have been
had.
a weird
He would have been,
vibe. That would have
I
been
mean, genuinely
so weird.
horrifying. Not even
That would
funny.
have been
Tim Curry
so
is like
creepy.
funny because
Imagine if, okay, it's like the scene where he goes into the hotel room to see if there's anybody there and walks in on the guy in the shower. If that was Jack Nicholson, it changes the entire mood of the whole movie.
it's so genuinely
You're like,
threatening.
Kevin is only 10 years old and he's staying at the Plaza Hotel with a crazy person.
With Jack Nicholson, who famously doesn't do well in hotels. Yeah, and like
Hello?
the word that comes to
That's a
mind is
crazy thing.
like stalking. He's
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson is stalking Kevin like for prey, like he's going to cook and
Yeah.
eat him. Tim
Yeah.
Curry is like slinking. You know how they talk about that in the Grinch movie? He slinks around. That's
Yeah.
exactly what he does. He's slink. Tim Curry is a joke. And I say that with all the love and all the respect in my heart. His character is not to be taken very seriously. He's just a
No.
silly, goofy guy. And has he's a serious actor because he has no dignity. He allows himself to be taken away with the hijinks and
Mhm.
like he knocks into things and he falls on the ground when he thinks he's getting shot at. That's what a serious actor does. You know that if Tim Curry were cast in a Bollywood movie that he would sing and dance.
Mhm.
It's just, maybe
Just throwing that out there.
lower lower your opinion of yourselves a little bit.
Yeah. You think you're better than Tim Curry? Think again. Crazy.
No one is better than Tim Curry. No.
Yeah.
I love him so much. I saw someone tweet this a while back, and it's to this day one of the tweets I've agreed with the most in my life. It's I would
Mhm.
watch like a show centered on those three in the hotel and their hijinks, like for
Mm.
20
Yeah.
seasons. And that is true. I normally famously don't love like sequels or spin-off shows. That one though,
Yeah.
like
That would be a good one. It's like imagine Faulty Towers, but instead of this like little dinky hotel in Torquay, it's the Plaza Hotel with Tim Curry. You'd watch that. Okay, that's a good show.
watch
That's
it
funny.
so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Faulty Towers.
That's the London or the British show from the 70s that you grew up on.
Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah. The perfect timeline would have been if we'd gotten a show based on those three. I think
Yeah.
they were in this movie the perfect amount. I think it really
Oh yeah.
balanced out the actual genuine threat of Marv and Harry with like what if like a secondary threat of oh what if they find out that he's run away from home, he stole his credit card or like,
Mhm.
little bit of heightened danger and then we've got guys with guns. I don't think they would have I don't think it would have been very balanced if they had been in the movie more, but I would have liked to see more of them. It's like Megamind. I don't want a sequel. I don't want a sequel movie, a sequel series, anything with that. I do want more Megamind though. It's
Right.
perfect as it
Right.
is. I
Yeah.
just want more Megamind. It's you see the conundrum. You understand.
Yeah. To Kevin, a 10-year-old, all of these dangers kind of feel like maybe equal dangers. Like the fear
Yeah.
of somebody's going to find out that my parents abandoned me at the airport and my
Mm-hmm.
dad had given me his bag prior. Like it's not even like he ran away and stole anything. It's like what was
You
he
just
supposed to do?
accidentally got separated.
He accidentally got separated and he had his dad's bag. That's not a crime. But he's like, in my
Mm-hmm.
mind, like, Tim Curry is gonna kill me or call the cops on me.
Yes.
And then, like, and then also there's two criminals who are genuinely trying to kill him. And he's like, two can play that game. Electrocute you
Yeah.
1,000 times. But, like,
This is the greatest Christmas movie ever.
at the point when you're like, maybe this is like too gratuitously violent. You see Marv's skeleton as he's getting electrocuted, and it just brings
That's
you back
the
down to, okay, this is
funniest
funny.
thing.
And you're like, never
I
mind, it's funny. This is
I
Looney
was
Tunes.
it's Looney Tunes, exactly. I was watching that with my parents last night, and my dad and I were near tears when that skeleton popped up. I remember watching that as a kid and thinking Marv screaming high pitched, like, and then the skeleton was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. And then I watched it again yesterday, and every year since. And yeah, no, it is. I was right then. I'm right now. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's
It is
hysterical.
funny.
It is. Like, no one these days would ever commit to a bit like that. Be like, hey, what if we like made him a skeleton for a second? Just at the last minute of the shot. And everyone's like,
So funny. It's so
so
funny.
funny. What if we made Joe Pesci do a handstand on a toilet full of kerosene?
And that part rocks.
So hard. Everything rocks. I love everything about this movie, but especially the gratuitous violence. Like Kevin in the
Mhm.
first one, he's just trying to hurt them. Like just enough to inconvenience them because he's scared they're in his house.
Yeah.
He's just trying to protect himself really more than anything and like kind of get back at them for being robbers and breaking into his home. Just like little things here and there. But in this movie, he has learned that they are going to steal all of the money that Mr. Duncan is going to donate to the children's hospital. And Kevin's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, wow. That's a pretty shitty thing to do. I'm going to kill you.
Mhm.
I'm going to kill you and I'm going to make it hurt.
Yeah.
And we're
And
going to
it's
drag it
like,
out for as long as possible."
yeah. And I'm gonna do
And
that for
that's
a
awesome.
full 40 minutes of the movie, baby. Um,
Yes, it just
yeah,
keeps going.
incredible. It just keeps going. You're like, how many booby traps could this kid have possibly set? One more than you think. Just one more with Swan.
What I love about it is because in the first one, they gave him like 45 minutes to set up all the booby traps in the house. In this one, they're like, we'll get 9 to midnight. We'll give him 3 hours, and that'll be more than enough time. Like, we see him strolling down the road with like a big old can and a board. And
Mhm.
he's just like, he's in no hurry. Like, he takes his time setting up the trap, just watching him through the window, making sure it's perfect. And then we start the traps with him fully throwing bricks. That's where it
At a man's
starts.
head, okay? And you know, like, if
Five
this
of
were a
them.
realistic movie, he'd be dead immediately.
The first
You
one,
can't get
right
clocked in
here,
the head
from
by a
five
brick
stories
from
up.
like, and just like be fine. And I do think that that would be funny, but it's also funny that he somehow lives through the night. And it's like, Marv, give up, man.
Just stop.
You didn't have to.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it, is because
Yeah.
everything that they go through is their fault.
Oh,
What
yeah.
I talked about this with my dad last night. The first trap after Marv gets bricked in the face so hard is he walks up the stairs and the front door and he pulls on the doorknob and it comes out and there's a rope attached to it. Now, at this
Mhm.
point, you might think, okay, if you were in Marv's shoes, I was brutally attacked by this child last Christmas. It hurt a lot, and a lot of the traps started like this, where
Mhm.
I
You
can
say,
see
that sounds
something's
weird.
wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now, I think that a normal person in Marv's shoes would think, I know this kid. I know where this is going. Why would I keep pulling the string?
Right.
But Kevin knows they're going
That
to pull
he's
the
stupid.
string. And so
Yeah.
he makes the string really long. Like, why wouldn't he just make the string just short enough to attach to the nail gun so that when he pulled it
Right.
the
So
first
you can
time, it
pull
would
it and then
shoot?
immediately get stapled. Yeah. But
Yeah,
no,
no, he wanted them
it's
to
like,
draw it out at
it's like
all of these
10 feet
things.
long. Like,
It literally is. And he pulled it the whole time. And that is
yeah.
awesome because Kevin is a master like of strategic thinking. He
Yeah.
knows these men inside and out. He knows them better than anyone has ever known them. And he's using that to try to kill them.
Yeah.
He's killing them in 1,000 different ways.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Yeah. And I think when you see the scene where he like kind of smirks a little bit and turns up the
Voltage.
the voltage,
Yeah.
you know that if anybody had died before they could get through all his booby traps, he'd be disappointed. It's like, I
Yeah.
went through all that planning with my little crayon blueprints, and you're just gonna die? Lightweight. Like, you know, he'd be a little bit mad.
Yeah, that's so true.
So,
Yeah.
all in all, it's a good thing that they somehow have the stamina of Rasputin that they can survive all of this stuff because otherwise Kevin would not have a good Christmas. He would be
No.
disappointed that they died too fast.
And that's amazing. His line right before he throws the brick that shatters the window that brings Marv and Harry out into the open is he looks at the rock and he's like, another Christmas in the trenches. And he just kind of shrugs. He's like, and then
Yeah.
he
Like,
smiles
well,
when the glass shatters. Like, he's genuinely sorry to like hurt Mr. Duncan in any way. But
mhm.
it makes me think of that line in The Haunting of Hill House, when Theo is talking about throwing a rock through the greenhouse, and she's like, I threw a second one just to hear the crash. It makes me
Mhm.
think of that. Like that's exactly what Kevin, he's like, I just wanted to hear the crash. I wanted to hear the crack of their bones and the
Yeah.
shriek in the air. And that, you know what? Good for
Yeah.
him. He did it for a noble cause the first time, and he did it for an even more noble cause this time around. He's like, you're not going to screw with
Mhm.
these kids in the
He's not just
hospital?
protecting himself, he's protecting all the children of New York.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
hmm Some of those kids are sick and injured on Christmas, and you're gonna
Yeah,
steal from them?
I don't think so. I
Not
don't
on
think
my
so.
watch. I'm
Mm-mm.
going to kill you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
spit bullets at you out of my mouth, and they'll work.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
it so much. Like honestly, the thought of Marv stepping on the like glass ornaments kind of freaks me out a little bit. Like it's almost like it's too real. The
Mhm.
first one where the injury, like I can feel them more. But Marv getting 10,000 paint cans splattered on him, getting electrocuted, then getting a bag of cement dropped on him from 5 stories, and then like all these, they don't
Just
really,
keeps going.
I don't feel them
Yeah,
because
because you're that's too far-fetched. That's never happened to me.
exactly. It's like a little bit elevated enough where I'm separated from it and I don't have to
Right.
worry about having glass
So it does just
splinters
feel
in
like
me.
a cartoon or like an Indian movie with like really gratuitous violence where you're like, yes.
Yeah.
And you can just cheer for it instead of
Yes,
having to be
yes,
like,
yes,
oh
yes.
no,
Ugh.
but that would hurt.
Yeah. Like that scene in A
Yeah.
Quiet
And that's
Place
like
where
I
Emily
say, like
Blunt
if you
steps on a
have a
nail.
point, yeah, yeah. Ugh. If you have a
God.
point where you're like, maybe this is too much, then it becomes funny again. And so then you're like, oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
It's everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
It's just
Yes,
a
yes, yes,
silly
yes, 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 yes,
movie.
yes, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And second I like the second Home Alone too because Marv and Harry are aware of the kid this time around and it's not just complete shock. It's um like they try to outsmart him, but he also knows that they're going to try to outsmart him. So like he
Mhm.
doesn't put the flame throwing light on the first light. He puts it on like the fifth one. So by the time
Yeah.
that Harry gets in there, he doesn't think to look and check this one. And that's when it blows and lights his head on fire. They
Mhm.
know that he's going to try to throw paint cans down the stairs at them. They don't know that he knows that they know that he's going to do that. And so he has planned, yes, that's right, a lead pipe.
It was Kevin with the lead pipe in the stairwell.
This
Yeah,
movie
it's
rocks.
really good.
It's
And
so
even like
good.
so he has the light bulb that sets his head on fire in the bathroom so
Mhm.
that he can fill the toilet with kerosene, knowing, oh, Harry's gonna try to put the fire out, he's gonna use this water. Big mistake. Huge.
Huge. He's got this all planned out. He can beautiful mind it. He sees all of these like he's in the web and he can
Yeah,
see all of
he's
the
like
potential
Doctor
future.
Stranging. I saw 1,000 possible outcomes, and in which one do I win? All of them, obviously. Those guys are idiots.
Don't you know that that a kid will always win against two idiots? That's what he says. In the middle, like they're not even done fighting yet. He's like, "You guys are
Yeah,
stupid."
he's just letting them know the end.
Yeah. And he's
Yeah.
right. And then the thing that gets me too is like they are so blinded with rage that by the end it does make sense that they're not thinking about the path to get to Kevin. Like
Mhm.
they're genuinely just that angry that they're going to 100% kill this 10-year-old for being
Yeah.
mean to them. And they
Which is like
think,
imagine again having beef with a 10-year-old.
yeah,
Grow up.
embarrassing. Very, very funny.
Funny.
What's wrong with
Because
you?
it's like, what's wrong with you?
Exactly. Same patch. Anyway, by the end of the night, they get up to the top of the House of Horrors. Kevin has somehow made his way back down to the bottom of the House of Horrors and has left them a kerosene-soaked rope to get down to him. And
And I
yeah,
love they climb down and Marv like, "What's that smell?" And Harry's like, "It's kerosene. He soaked the rope in kerosene." And
why would
Marv is like,
anybody soak
"Why
a
would
rope in
somebody do
kerosene?
that?" And then he's standing at the bottom and he goes, "Merry Christmas,"
Merry
and lights a match
Christmas.
and sets the rope.
That is my number. I think genuinely that goes down in like the top 10 most iconic
Yeah.
scenes in film ever is why would anybody like soak a rope in kerosene and then and Kevin lighting the match and then looking so genuinely frightening. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. He's
Like,
badass,
yeah,
this little 10-year-old.
it's I love him so much. He's my ultimate hero. Every time you think he's gonna get caught, no, 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 baby. He has a way. He's got it figured out. And then yeah, let's go back to Pigeon Lady. She's 11 out of 10 at least. Like
Mhm.
this is the thing about both Home Alone movies is that they really drive home the point that cops are stupid and ineffective and useless. They do nothing the
Interesting.
whole time. Yeah. Hmm.
Huh.
The second one makes the point of, hey, you guys remember homeless people, right? They're what's the word? People. That's right. They're people. Yeah.
Oh.
You guys like
Mhm.
this scary pigeon lady is it scary pigeon? She's very kind woman who helps Kevin when his foot is stuck. And he has a moment of like, wait, I've been through this already with Man with the Shovel. I'm letting my preconceived notions about people get in the way of what could be a potentially really nice friendship. And he's like, can I buy you a hot chocolate? And she's like, aw. And they connect and have a really good, lovely little chat. And he's like, I'll be
Mhm.
your friend. And she's like, that's really sweet, but don't make promises you can't keep. And then at the end, I'm gonna start crying, like for real. This, I mean, it always gets me
Mhm.
with the turtle doves. Can you do it?
Yeah, so basically earlier, I remember Mr. Duncan from the toy store. He let Kevin take a little two turtle doves ornament off his tree for being such a nice little boy.
Because he donated specifically to
Mhm.
the children's hospital.
Because he's a really nice little boy and he's very
Mhm.
polite. And you can tell that he's polite when he goes up to the hotel and he's like, um, my dad just wanted me to stay at the hotel while he's in his meeting so I don't get into mischief. And man, sometimes I do get into mischief. Like just that like open honesty of a young child. But he's so polite. He asks the other people at the pool before he cannonballs, like, he's a good little boy.
He is.
So Mr. Duncan sees, oh, he's a good little boy. He's generous. He gave extra money to the shop just so that we could donate it. So he gives him this little two turtle dove ornament that's like, I guess they're magnetic. They can like attach. So cute. And he's
Mhm.
like, as long as you have one and your friend has one, then you'll be friends forever. And he's like, got it. But he doesn't have anyone to give it to because his family sucks.
They hate him so much.
They leave him and they're like, oh no, twice. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think that he
Funny
doesn't
enough,
have a
they
lot of
never lose their
friends
luggage.
because he, yeah,
One of the best lines in the movie.
it's so funny to knock on wood.
Yeah, the fact
And,
that they're
and
both
the
laughing
guy is like,
almost in hysterics. Your boy, ma'am, your boy. And
like,
they're like, yeah, fair point.
has anything like this ever happened before? No. Oh, except for yes. Anyway, he's bonding with this lady who, by the way, likes birds.
Yeah.
And she helps him, and they have this like nice little moment. He says, "Don't make promises you can't keep." But then later, he's he's running through Central Park with Marvin Harry in tow, and he's trying to set off the fireworks to let the boys know where they are. And she helps him by throwing bird feed on them, so they get pigeoned. They birded a man to death. That's I'm sorry, you just told me that a bird set fire to a gas station, so you're gonna have to explain that to me, you know?
Yeah.
And then on Christmas morning, all his family are there and they're like tearing into presents, and he's like, he leaves.
Presents that Mr. Duncan donated to
Presents that
them
Mr.
because
Duncan
he
donated to them
knows, yeah,
because he's a
that
good
Kevin
boy.
was the one who
Yeah,
helped stop the robbers. Yeah.
yeah.
And
And so anyway, then he grabs his little two turtle doves and he takes them to the park and finds the pigeon lady, and it's like, he's not
I
gonna go
won't
back on his
forget
promise,
you.
okay? Don't make promises you can't keep. He's like, I promise. I will not forget you.
I
As long as you
promise.
have this, we're friends. And she's like, okay. Because, like, how else could you
Woohoo!
possibly react to that? And they have a sweet little hug.
Yeah.
And then he gets in trouble for spending $900 on room service, which, again, was possibly life sustaining.
That is pretty funny because he did that in like 12 hours. He spent almost $3,000 in 12 hours on room
Yeah.
service.
I
And yeah,
mean,
it is life
yeah.
sustaining because it's like 15 different flavors of ice cream and 1,000 different toppings. What else are
And
you
like,
going to do
you
as a
need that.
kid?
He's 10 years old.
He
You
doesn't
want him to
have
starve?
dinner. He's going to eat chicken? I don't think so. I also really like the fact that he bought the fireworks before he got a hotel room. That was number one. He got off the plane and we see him then leaving a fireworks store. And then he does his tourist things. He's
And
like,
then he goes to the
first things
Plaza
first.
Hotel.
I know I'm
Yeah.
gonna need these.
It's like
He
something's
didn't
just
even
telling, I
know.
just know that I'm gonna need these. And then he ends
Yeah.
up using them to catch the bad guys. But
He would
if
have
that
just
hadn't
used them
happened, he
like,
would have just had fireworks. He would have just
yeah,
put on a little fireworks show for himself.
and that's amazing. Marv and
Yeah.
Harry are, I mean, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, actors of all time, because again, they have no dignity. They're willing to do these silly stunts. Joe Pesci is a serious actor. He's
Yeah.
in a lot of really cool things as a very cool and serious person. But in this one, he's gonna like pretend to do 5 flips through the air and then land on a car and like, and he's gonna have a bag of tools fall on his head. And he's okay with like he's gonna do that. Daniel Stern, the scene where he's screaming when he's getting birded to death, when the pitch like I've never heard a human person scream like that. And he's like like
Yeah.
he's so
And
physical with his screams.
it seems real because he's a good actor.
Yeah. And also it was real. They did cover those actors in birdseed and they did throw real life
They
pigeons on
did,
them.
they did actually bird them to death, but like
They
also they're
did.
good actors.
Both of these things can be true. Love the scene when they first find him too. They're just out of Duncan's toy chest, a public street in New York, and they go to grab him, and Kevin just screams. And all of a sudden, everyone remembers, oh, yeah, we're in public. We can't just grab a kid. And it's such a funny scream, too. He does it with his whole mouth. Ah! It's not a high pitched one. It's just, and
Yeah.
yeah, everyone stops and is like, this is a little kid.
Because
Like,
if you think
everyone just
about it,
stops.
it
They're
would be,
like,
if you were walking down the street and saw two fully grown men next to a screaming child, you'd stop. You'd say,
you would.
something's not right here.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
then he's like the smartest kid in the world because he immediately knows to run away full speed and has enough time to set a trap in the street. He buys
Yeah.
the pearl necklace,
On the run.
keeps
It
his
turns the
mind.
corner and he's like, I can see that they're coming, and breaks it so that they can slip and fall on the beads, and he can keep running. He's on X
Like
Games mode. He's always smarter than you.
his mind. The one thing that Gabby Bell talked about in her video that I didn't know about the last Home Alone movie is that Buzz makes an appearance as a cop, which does make sense. All due
Yeah,
respect.
it does.
Yeah, that does make sense. And he is calling somebody and he's like, yeah, no, they even have a McAllister home security system. Isn't that crazy? Which implies that Kevin grew up to create home security systems. And I do
Mhm.
like that. And I also would love a TV show of grown-up Macaulay Culkin as Kevin McAllister creating and implementing home security systems in the style of like his Rube Goldberg
Yeah,
machinations.
elaborate
I would
pranks.
love that. I would
Yeah,
love
and that would
that.
be awesome.
I think it would be great.
Because then that's another thing where you could have like different new characters. You don't have to bring back the same guys. You just have to bring back like Kevin and let
Yeah.
him be the home security installation guy, and then you get to
Yeah.
see it work for people, and that would be funny. Because every
Yeah.
person has like a different like home setup, and so obviously he would work with that. He's drawing the plans himself. Because he's a
Yeah.
mastermind.
He still uses crayon. Yeah. He's a professional, but he never lost sight of that childhood whimsy.
And
Drawing
maybe
spikes.
because, he had not a good childhood. He's got
Yeah.
to do something to heal his inner child, and that's take care of other people's children, unlike his neglectful ass parents. We're
The
banding them
funny
over
thing
the
is,
holidays more than once.
the first time is like definitely 100% on the parents. The second
Yeah.
one I is also totally believable to me because I can fully see myself doing something like that. Like I
Mhm.
am absolutely like have the mindset of I need new batteries, I need them right now. Like no, I can't wait until we get on the plane. I have the bag, I'm just gonna put them in now.
Mhm.
Like
Well,
yeah,
and that's also like
dad should have kept an eye on him.
Dad should have kept an eye on
Absolutely.
him. But
But
there's
I
also
completely
he goes up
understand.
to like the flight attendants though, and they
Yeah.
say, "We can't board you until we know that your family's on this flight." And he sees somebody who looks like his dad.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
he
the
thinks
moment that
for
you're like,
sure
"Ugh." He's like, "That's my dad." But in real life, especially post
post
9/11,
9/11.
this could never have happened
No, for 1,000 different
for
reasons.
so many reasons.
We have Wi-Fi, we have cell phones now. Oh, fun
Mhm.
thing that I never noticed. You know when he gets to New York and he goes up to the flight attendant, he's like, "This is an emergency. What city is that?" And she's like, "New York? That is Ali Sheedy."
Yeah, it is. I saw it.
I
I was
never
like,
knew that. I was like, I didn't
she's
even
on all
recognize her.
the she's on all the best episodes of Psych.
That is so true. That is so true.
Mhm.
She's also one of the most criminally abused characters of all time. I'm looking at you, Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
I'm
That
sorry.
movie had such potential.
I can't believe what they did to her.
And then
They
what?
massacred my boy.
She's gonna change her bangs and wear pink at the end? I thought this movie was about embracing people as they are.
Yeah. If
Ugh.
that boy had any spine at all, he would have loved her the
Hmm.
before. And he would have been
Hmm.
like,
He would have
"Ugh, what did
changed
you
his
do?
look,
What did you do to
frankly.
her?" Yes, he would.
Yeah.
He would have.
Yeah.
I think he's enough of a simp that he would have done that. But no. That I mean, and it was made in the 80s. I can give things grace for knowing the time period that they were grown up in. Only
Yeah.
a little bit though, because I we also have UHF and Napoleon Dynamite, which were also products of their time and didn't do those things. So
Hmm. You can look
yeah.
back on them and be like, hey, this actually holds up really well.
Hmm.
Instead of looking back and saying, oh,
Principal Rooney from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He's not in Breakfast Club, is he?
I don't remember.
Okay. That's another rough one to go back and look like and see him in all these movies, and he is a genuinely talented actor and a huge major creep. He's in
Yeah.
Ravenous too, and that it is hard because I'm like, oh, I really, oh, oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, yikes,
Yeah.
oof. But
Talk about Ferris Bueller sometime. Because we've already talked about Ravenous.
we have, yeah.
Yeah. Just like probably like once or twice, but
For viewers who maybe don't know what we're talking about, just go back and watch any one of our videos. Hit a random
that's in
point
there.
in any episode, and it's a good chance
And
we'll talk about it.
we're probably talking about Ravenous at
Yeah,
whatever point you click on it.
yeah.
Ravenous or Triple R. It's kind of toss up between those
Hmm.
all the time.
Especially if you click on the Triple R episode. Odds are pretty good we're talking about Triple R. Any
Yeah,
one of
that's
the
true.
4 Triple R episodes.
Yeah, we had a month about it.
We
That's
did.
normal.
And there are still things that we didn't talk about. Um, Home Alone 2.
Hmm. Lost in New York.
Great. Lost in New York, even. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, 20 up and 1 over, you simple bitch.
Hmm.
John Mulaney talked about it famously. Really funny. It's a really funny
Really fun. I
movie.
don't know if you've heard of John Mulaney. He's actually like a funny guy. I think he should be a comedian, honestly. But he once, just in a private conversation, because we're friends, talked about this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Which I knew Olivia would know,
So it's kind of
having
an
been
inside joke.
there.
I just thought I would like let you guys in on it.
Yeah, exactly. It's so Christmas to me. And it's a
Hmm.
lot more fun because yeah, the first one is like it's kind of isolated. It's just Kevin and he's alone
Yeah.
and sad, and that's sad. The second one, he's alone and a little bit sad, and then oh boy, he gets an enrichment activity. He gets to try to murder 2 grown men and hurt them as much as
Yay!
possible. And that's beautiful. That's wonderful. And I love it so
Hmm.
much. And he makes a new friend. And yes, it does make me cry so hard. So hard. And
Yeah.
I'm so glad that they end it on that last note where his dad's like, "You spent $967 on room service," because then I have a chance to. Yeah, it's a good movie, guys. I liked it a lot.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, instead of ending with him hugging the pigeon lady in the park, and you're just
and
weeping.
and then that's the note that you end like it's the
Yeah,
I also
yeah,
oh the other thing is when Marv and Harry are being covered in birds and the bird seed. The
yeah.
cop just shoots his gun to try to clear the pigeons out. And I just think that again perfectly captures what cops are really like. And I think
Mhm.
that's fine. Oh, the other thing. When they're cracking open the chest and the cash register, stuffing all the money into the bag, Harry says, Merry Christmas, Harry. And Marv says, Happy Hanukkah, Marv.
Happy
Marv
Hanukkah,
is,
Marv.
of course, Jewish.
Yes, and I was watching it and I was like, diversity win.
Diversity win indeed. So, so funny. I don't know
Yeah,
why, like that line specifically made me laugh so hard this time around. Like I don't know if I just never caught it as a kid, but watching it yesterday, I was like, that is hysterical. That's
yeah.
so funny. Life is beautiful. We
Life,
have Home Alone
you
too.
know what? Think about this. If life wasn't beautiful, why would there be diverse cultures of criminal trying to kill this 10-year-old child in a movie from the 90s?
And also Tim Curry is there.
But also Tim Curry is there.
Yeah, yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
McAllister! I'm so obsessed with
That
him. He's
pizza.
so funny. Pizza.
I'm so glad I knew that was the line. I was like, what if I'm
Yeah,
just writing down a random line just talking about something else? No, no.
no,
It's
obviously it was
Tim
that one.
Curry. We know.
Yeah, it's the greatest line of anything ever. I also like Kevin is watching The Grinch and then it pans to Tim Curry doing the Grinch grin.
And he
Awesome.
looks like the Grinch.
Yeah, it's
It's
incredible.
amazing. He's the greatest actor of any generation. Hello? Oh, they're fine. They're coming in. It's my parents.
Somebody's
He
bringing in. Quick, get some paint buckets. Luke,
It's Luke. He's here. Did I tell you that?
no. Merry Christmas. God bless us
Yeah.
one and all.
Amen. Tangential Tim Curry thought is okay, so Christmas Carol, Muppets Christmas Carol, Tim Curry is in Muppets Treasure Island, which is so funny and he is very good in that. Tim Curry can do no wrong. Are we all agreed? He's like correct. Yeah.
Yeah, Luke said that. Good boy.
Yeah. We all know Luke only has good opinions. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
kept him around if he hadn't. He's only
Yeah.
got 3 legs. He's got to have some redeeming
Yeah.
qualities.
Not even useful.
Did you guys have any thoughts that you wanted to add about Home Alone 2?
I like your thought that there's very serious actors in there that completely buy in to being made fun of.
That's what really makes something, you know?
Mhm.
If you're not going to take your
Well,
role seriously,
committing
no
to
one
the bit.
else. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not take yourself too seriously.
Exactly. That's what we were literally just saying. Yes. We're all on the same page.
I have to tell you a really good moment that happened where I was watching the movie, but during like kind of the beginning parts of it, I was doing other stuff. And you know how there's a certain wicked and evil person who has become kind of a leader to the people lately, who like gives Kevin directions?
I think I'm
I didn't
familiar.
watch that part. I didn't even plan it. I just was doing something else.
Yay! Yay!
I look back, Kevin's already in the hotel, baby. He knows where to go. He doesn't need to ask for directions.
Oh my gosh, that is the
Yeah,
one flaw that my brain has edited out is there is
yeah.
someone in this movie that is shouldn't
Yeah.
be in this movie.
The like Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, Women in STEM edit. It's exactly the same, except we just kind of clip that guy out.
It's 30 seconds shorter and
Yeah.
it makes no difference.
It makes no difference to the plot. We're not changing anything
No.
major. We're just like, get rid of that guy. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Who said that?
It was a ghost. I don't know. It's Christmas.
Ooh, Ghost of Christmas Present, which is another really good movie. There are a couple different versions that are really good. Again, the
Mhm.
Muppets version is very fun.
Yeah, because
Um,
it's the Muppets.
it's the Muppets.
Say something bad about the Muppets, you know? It's also funny because Ghost of Christmas Present sounds like a Christmas present.
Yeah, it does. Yay, presents! Oh, n no presents just right
Oh.
now. Ugh.
Oh.
Well, I don't think I have anything else to add at the moment. It's
I think I
a
do
perfect
either. I like that
movie,
we talked
perfect
about the
Christmas
movie
movie.
in reverse order.
We really did. We started at the bottom, now we're here.
To close, I'll tell you about a different movie that I watched this week.
Yay!
It's a love triangle movie with Reese Witherspoon, but it's not the one where the guys leave each other for each other. It's different. But
Good.
guess who's in it?
Not Tom Hardy?
Not Tom Hardy, Owen Wilson,
No
and
way!
Paul Rudd, and
Wait,
say it with me, Catherine Hahn, and Jack Nicholson. Weird, right? Why is he there?
I know the movie. I know this movie.
You know
Is
this
she a
movie?
softball player?
Yeah.
Yes! I was just thinking about this movie this week. You were transmitting it to my mind?
I was saying, Whitney, I'm watching this movie this week. Please, can anybody hear me? I think it is quite funny. And I think it's like the way that people talk to each other is like so unrealistic that it becomes realistic,
Uh-huh.
which I don't know, I appreciate it. I felt like it was a very like tongue-in-cheek movie while still you still get the fun like will they won't they moments, you know? I went on
Yeah.
Letterboxd and a lot of people were like, this movie kind of sucks ass. And I was like, what are you talking? You don't know how to enjoy things like I
Yeah.
do.
I had felt the same when I watched Masterminds. Well, I've seen Masterminds 1,000 times, but when I looked it up on Letterboxd, and everyone was like, "This movie's not that funny," and I just really disagree.
And you're
Like,
like,
it
hmm,
still makes me
crazy
full
how so
belly
many people
laugh.
can be wrong. Like,
Yeah, yeah. No, I remember watching the movie and enjoying it, but it's been, I mean, maybe 10 years
yeah,
since I've watched it. I'll have to.
it's I would say it's good, and then I would say it's not great. Just so we know, like, just so we're clear.
Yeah, it's like it's good for a rom-com, not like a good movie. It's like
Right.
I don't know if we've
It's a
talked
good
about this
driver
before. It's
for a
like
woman.
okay,